All right, insurance coverage for midwifery care. So sadly, it's a lot harder to get most insurance companies to cover the services of a midwife than it is for them to cover the services of an OB during a more traditional hospital birth. That's such a shame because, for women that are having an an uncomplicated pregnancy, that are healthy, birthing with a midwife at a birth center or at home can be an incredible, very, very safe option. So how do we get women that are using a midwife more coverage from their insurance company? I am learning about this so much more right now because I am a pregnant woman using or utilizing the services of a midwife. I'm planning on a home birth with this amazing midwife. And so, I've been exploring how can I get some of this covered. So some good news is that because of COVID, more and more women are able to get at least a portion of their midwifery care covered. So that's great news. And it's also typically a little bit easier to get midwifery services covered if you're birthing in a birth center versus at home. So that's something else to keep in mind, but I hope that doesn't dissuade you from having a home birth with a midwife if that's something you really, really want and that's a safe option for you. And because you can absolutely get, or there is the potential to get some of that care covered as well. Something else to keep in mind is that a lot of times midwifery care is actually more affordable than having an unmedicated vaginal hospital birth. So for example, my yearly deductible with my insurance plan is $7,000, and the amount that my midwife charges is $6,400. So I'm actually saving $600 using a midwife, and that's even before I look into getting any of that covered. So a lot of people think, oh, it's way too expensive to get a midwife, but again, a lot of times, depending on your deductible, depending on your insurance plan, it can be more affordable. So that's something interesting to look into. What's your deductible? And then, because you're pretty much guaranteed to meet your deductible if you're going to have a hospital birth. And that includes, prenatal care, ultrasounds, like all of that kind of stuff. It's likely going to add up to enough where, again, you will have to pay out your full deductible. Okay, so what to do, how to navigate potentially getting some your insurance company to cover some of this care. So first of all, ask if you already have a midwife, ask your midwife about it. Ask them, have you had other clients that have gotten a portion or all of the care they received from you covered? If so, how? Because they might have some really, really helpful tips for you. So start there, ask them if they have any ideas. Determine if you have out-of-network coverage, because you're more likely to get some coverage for your midwifery care if, again, you have out-of-network coverage. How do you find that out? Sometimes, a lot of times if you read your policy, you'll see that. But I also recommend, as big of a pain as this can be, calling your insurance provider and just straight up asking them, like, look, I'm considering a midwife. Can you help me understand if any of the care they provide would be covered? Like, let's have a conversation about this and try to get some information. And lastly, this is my favorite tip. I really highly recommend, if you do end up using a midwife, that you utilize the services of, I call them COHOSH, but it's like an acronym, COHOSH. Maybe it's not an acronym. Maybe they are just COHOSH billing. I don't know. Anyways, so for a really, really reasonable fee, this service will like take all the information from your midwife, and you can only do this after you actually have the baby. They'll take all your information and they will advocate on your behalf with your insurance company. And a lot of times they are more equipped to get the max amount for you than you are if you're just calling constantly and trying to get X, Y, and Z covered by your insurance company. So this is something that I'm gonna do after I have my daughter. I'm going to hire this company to try to get some money from my insurance company. I've had a lot of friends that have used them. One of my friends got 75% of their midwifery bill covered by using this company. I think she paid them like $300 or something. It was very, very reasonable. So I really recommend them. The link to their website is in the description of this video below. If you have any other tips, please let us know. If you've like figured out a secret with getting a portion or all of your midwifery care covered, please let us know. And if you have questions about anything else, let me know in the comments below.